India has multiple generations of native English speakers. For instance, listen to this guy.
It's used for the 10, 15, 20 real special friends of yours.
The Indian accent is often seen as a foreign accent and the result of people imperfectly learning English. However, for a lot of Indians, this is arguably not the case, and for some, it's definitely not the case. Under British control, English became a very important language in India. Firstly, because it was the language of power of the colonizers, but secondly, because it could be used as a lingua franca between Indians who didn't share a native language. But even after Indian independence, there were still native speakers of English in India. These Anglo-Indians, as they're called, have British ancestry and inherited English as a native language, not a learned language. And for some of them, it's their only language. But here's what's interesting, they have an Indian accent. Technically, there's lots of different Indian accents, but one of the core features that unites most of them is their treatment of coronal consonants. As a speaker of general American English, when I say a phrase like thin tin, I use a dental fricative for thin and then an alveolar plosive for tin. But almost no Indian languages have either of those sounds, which has essentially led to the standard Indian English pronunciation of thin tin being different. Almost always what happens is that the dental fricative in thin becomes a dental plosive, like tin, because that's the closest sound available in most Indian languages' phonologies. And then for a similar reason, the alveolar plosive in tin becomes a retroflex consonant, so like tin. So the phrase becomes tin tin. But again, that pronunciation isn't really a failure to pronounce British or American English. It's just a separate standard, because most Indians learn English to talk to other Indians who would prefer a standard that's phonetically closer to their native language. And essentially, Anglo-Indians natively speak a variety of this standard. But these days, in major cities, general Indian English is also being learned natively by non-Anglo-Indian children.